2024 Prime RVX 34. Looks like a good looking bow. Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArchery.com, looking at the RVX 34 from Prime. What's new, you say? Well, they recut the riser a little differently, did a front mount pick, rear mount integration on the rest. Still has the same pop-out shim system, which is really cool to be able to change without having to take the axle out of the bow, because anybody knows who's ever done that, it's quite a pain in the butt. They angled the cable guard downward slightly, which will reduce torque and lateral movement on the cam, and it makes it a little easier to get at the rest. Still their same bolt-on, space-aged rubber grip cover to make it to where you don't feel the coldness of the bow through it. And it is still 8000 series aluminum. This bow is a 34 axle to axle, 4.5 pounds, 342 feet a second, 6 1/4 brace. So let's measure those and see what we get. All right, first off, we're looking for 34 axle to axle. Far end. Just a skosh over it, barely, not bad. 6 1/4, and we're spot on 6 1/4. There we go. Overall riser length is 29.5 inches. See how much reflex we have in this little bad mamma jamma. Oh, crud. The high score is low because I forgot to put the reflex number in there. We're going to have to refilm that. No, I already erased it. Hang on. Where's this? Okay. Reflex is 2.5. It's supposed to be 4.6 pounds. There's probably 2/10 of weight on here between those rubber pieces and that rest and that front pick mount. And we're coming in at 4.7-ish, yeah, so 2/10, there you go. Let's see what kind of draw weight we're at here. 71.7, so still a little heavy. .6. .70 on the dot. All right, let's see what our draw length looks like. Okay, this configuration in the 34, the 30 inches is dead center in the bolt hole, which lines up with the handle position. So this bow is exactly 30 inches. Thank you, Prime. That's perfect. All right, RVX 34, 70 pounds, 30 inches, 350 grain arrows. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, the cycle on these things is great. Yeah, I felt some vibration there for a bit. Seems to hang around a little bit. It doesn't dissipate super fast. It's not violent by any means, so don't get it twisted, but you can feel it, like it surges forward and then hangs out for a little while. Yeah. And I'm sure the rubberized grip helps dissipate some of that to where you don't actually feel the metal itself underneath it doing it, but I will say again, the cycle on these bows is great. There's a reason that so far we've tested one of them and the speed's been off by a lot. There's a reason for that. This thing feels really, really, really easy to pull. All right, let's see what kind of vibes we get. All right, vibration test, RVX 34, 350 grain arrows. It said 651, so we'll see if that's That seems awfully low for what this thing felt like, but we'll see. $770. Wow. It's ridiculously low. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. I was technically a dum-dum. $11.83. Now that was more what I was feeling. But you know, that was 3 arrows. 2 of them are pretty low. Probably have to give you like a 9, really. So that'll be it. All right, first speed test, RVX 34, 70 pounds, 30 inches, 350 grains. We're looking for 342 feet a second. 320 feet a second. 318 feet a second. 320 feet a second. I broke another arrow. All right, now we're doing 450s and 550s. RVX 34, 70 pounds, 30 inches, 450 grain arrow. 283. 285. 282. So I'll give you 283 average there. And we'll shoot 3 more. At 550 grains. $259. 258. 259. So 259 average there. Okay. 319 foot a second. 4.5 pounds. 34 and I'd say a 16th. And 6 1/4. Actual draw was 30 money. Reflex was 2 and change. Yeah, 2 inch. All right, so weight-wise, for a 34-inch bow to be at 4.5 pounds is actually really good. Like, that's kind of hard to do. Granted, your riser is shorter than some, but I'll give you a 5 for that mark because it's really hard to come in lighter than that on a 34-inch platform. That's not easy to do. 34 and a 16th, you were slightly off on your axle to axle, but it's still a good overall measurement. I'll give you a 4. Brace at 6 1/4. You were accurate at 6 1/4. I'll give you a 5 there. Spot on your draw length. 2 inches of reflex is way too much reflex for a bow of that size and that spec and that dimension. It does not need to be that high. And we need 2. And you're getting a 1 for speed, guys. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand, and you're probably going to give me some hate for this. I understand that you can probably create an environment that makes your bow get pretty close to that. But it's not a real environment. And nobody that I have tested this year, and I've tested almost everybody, is that far off. I do better. That's just wrong. Tunability, you got your nice shim interchangeable system that is pretty easy to use. It's easy to pop in and out. I'd like to see some more innovation go in that direction, but that's a decent mark. Features wise, you have some new features in here. You got an angled cable guard, you've got a front mount, you got a rear mount. You know, those are things people are integrating into their bows. I'd like to see a V-bar mount attachment. That would be nice. Outside of that, I mean, you could always innovate some of your own things that aren't what other people are doing, but you are given a front, you are given a rear, you are given a nice quiver attachment system that is different and unique to your own self. So I'd say 4 is probably fair on features. Balance, I'd give you good marks. Once again, I don't understand why this is cut this direction. It would make more sense for me if it was cut that direction because that would help with your balance, but it's still a pretty well balanced bow. The back wall is nice. I'll give you a 4. The grip's good. I'll give you a 4. Draw cycle smooth as butter. That's why it's so low. Vibration of 9 is a great number for a long bow. I'm going to have to give you a 5 on the vibe. I thought it was going to give me a higher number than that, and it didn't. And price-wise, I'll go ahead and give you a 4 because that's a fair price for this bow and what you're asking for here. So let's add that up and see what we get. All right, so there's a lot of good things that you're doing here. And the reason you have such a big spread in here is a draw cycle being really smooth is a direct reflection of a bow being really slow, and you're going to get a big spread difference here. If that bow was close to its speed reasonably, even if they publish this at like 335 or 330, you should be within 10 feet, period. And to be that far off, I mean, that is 23 feet. That's a lot. And my chronograph's not broken. I've tested 20 bows in the last 2 weeks. Nobody's been that far off. So that's part of why you're getting such a big spread in there, because this bow feels really good because it's really slow. And that's like 4 points that should be added here and probably 3 points that should be taken away from here or something like that to achieve the same thing. The 34-inch bow does go from 26.5 to 30.5, 40 to 80 pounds, all the same specs other than these are just a little different than the 32. So comment down below and tell me what you think. It is a nice bow in the price point of what you're competing with. It's definitely worth taking a look at. I just wish you'd be a little more honest about your speed and publish and advertise a speed that's maybe somewhat close to achievable, but 21 feet's just a lot, folks. Sorry. Hope this helps you make a decision, and I hope Prime doesn't get too mad that I gave him such a hard time for being so far off on the speed. Thanks.